and welcome to day 2 of the July colouring challenge, where we are colouring a sandcastle today. So this is the little reference image that I've put up on Google so that we can see what kind of colours we want to use, but I'm not being strict to it, you know, I'm just doing what I also think would be quite nice colours. So I've gone for our lightest Deco Yellow, then sand, then goldenrod, then 50% French grey for our shadows. So like I said on the first video, I'm not going to be using Prismacolors for the entire thing. I will be using other stuff, but for these first couple I just want to start off with Prismas, and then we'll get a little bit more daring and out of the box as we go. Okay, so sandcastles, again, it depends where you want to put your shadows. You don't have to look at any reference images or anything like that, because they're not going to be the exact same shape of sandcastle. So it's really up to you where you want to put all of your darker bits. So on this one, I can just see that we're facing straight onto the sandcastle, and I can't see that we'd have any major shadows on this. I think we'd have quite a lot of light on the front of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with our goldenrod and just put in little bits of shadows here and there where I think they would look best on this image. Again, it's a cartoon image, so we're sort of keeping it cartoony. It's not hyper-realism or anything like that. And it's just something that makes it look a little bit more interesting to the eye rather than block colouring it. So I'm going to add a little bit of this goldenrod here on top of this turret. And again over here. And probably just on the inside of the door here, because I think they probably carved a little sort of door shape in the sandcastle. It's not, you know, going to be a different colour, it's just a shape carved into the surface. So that will give us a nice look of shadow in there. Now, with sand being a granular sort of material, you can add as much texture in this as you want, so you can put bits of shading anywhere and it will still have that look of being a sandcastle, if that makes sense. So I'm just adding little bits of this goldenrod all over the shop, really. There are some lines in this that I do tend to like follow when I'm putting shadows in. So wherever you put your shadows, really, and however messily you do them, it's going to look fine because of the texture that we're working with. I'm going to do that again down here as well, because this is all sand. So really, this is a very, very simple one, but all these images are very simple anyway, so you're not going to find anything amazing on this challenge. But I just thought it'd be quite relaxed and quite fun to do it, and it's not a lot of pressure, you know, to make something look amazing. So little bits of shadow just everywhere on this. And then our next colour, which is the sand. So this is PC940. So I'm just going to layer that in. Filling in more and more of the white space as you go, but not all of it, obviously. So the sand colour is our mid-tone. So a lot of the sandcastle will be made up of this colour. Your shadows and your highlights don't make up as much of the piece as this mid-tone. This is like the actual colour that it is. So feel free to use as much as that as you want, depending on how much highlights you want to put in. You can go over your shadow areas as well to keep them nice and blended. And you can always come back in with more if you want to. Next colour is the Deco Yellow, PC1011. And that's going to be our highlight colour. So I'm going to fill all of the white in with this because I don't feel the need to keep any white on the paper for a sandcastle. It's not a shiny type of surface, so we don't need to keep a shine going. So I'll just fill in all the white. And then we can redo some of the colours to make them pop. So when you filled in all your white with the Deco Yellow, you can come back in with your darker colour, which was the Goldenrod, and just go over any bits that you want to go over. If you want to make them look a bit darker and a bit more prominent, you can do that now. And then the sand colour. Now I don't really want to burnish off a lot of texture. I do want to keep that rough look to it, so don't feel like you need to completely blend everything like we did on the mermaid tail, for example. Keep a little bit of that texture here and there. It will add to the effect. And with this darkest colour that we picked, which was the 50% French grey, I just want to pick out some areas to add more texture over the Goldenrod. So the Goldenrod is the orangey colour that we used and which we use for our shadows. And I'm just dotting. You might not even be able to see this on camera, but it does add a little bit of an extra dimension or, you know, detail to the sand. Might have to be quite hard with this, so just bear with me. But just adding these little dots in here and there, and you can make some come over into the yellow areas as well if you want to. Just gives it a little bit more of a granular look. My phone keeps buzzing, sorry about that. Let me turn it onto aeroplane mode. There we go. I bet there's loads of people watching this thinking, what's buzzing? Is my phone going off? No, it's just mine. Okay. So like I said, just adding little bits of texture here and there. And you know, maybe it looks a bit crap to you, but it's just what I do if I were colouring it, not on camera. And that's all these videos are really. It's just me sat colouring how I would if I was sat in front of the telly, but I'm doing it, you know, in front of you. So it's not always going to be some fantastic work of art. And at the end of the day, we just want to try and make it look a little bit kind of textured and as if it's sand. So just put them dots anywhere you want. You know me, I go dot happy. So I'm probably doing a bit too many, but hey ho. Hopefully it's added to the texture of the sand anyway. Now we've got a little shell down here. I was thinking that might be a nice pinkish kind of colour. So I've already got my peach out from day one, so I might just colour it in peach. And just use the pencil itself to make one bit of it darker than the other. So I'm not colouring the whole thing with complete flat peach. That'll do for me. Now for the background, obviously I like to make things pop as we discussed in day one, and I know that blue and yellow are on the opposite side of the colour wheel to each other. Actually yellow and purple are on the opposite side, but blue and yellow really pop nicely together. I think they pop better than yellow and purple do. So I'm going to use blue, and also it'll be a nice background to look as if we're on a sunny beach day. So I'm going to get some blue. I'm going to get let's see, I'm going to get a cerulean blue, PC 103, and then I want a really light blue, not light blue, but a brighter blue. Where is the non-photo blue gone? Bear with. I've lost my non-photo blue. I'm going to have to go into the spares collection, see if I've got a spare one. I think that looks like it there. There we go, non-photo blue. And I might need to fill in the in-between colour with a true blue. Oh, I've already got them. I'm literally holding the non-photo blue. I thought that was the true blue. Yeah, they've got a true blue there in case I need to go in between them, but I probably won't because it's just such a small space. Such a small space. So again, like we did on the first day and like we're probably going to do on the rest of the days, I'm just doing a little bit of a border with the darker colour. Quite lightly because I am going to go over with the lighter colour and just bleach that colour out a little bit so it's not as dark. So yeah, non-photo blue, PC 919, going over that cerulean and then filling the rest of it in. So you see how the cerulean went on quite dark, but because we've covered it over with the non-photo blue, it's not as harsh, and also it's blended really nice. Okay, so I think I just want to do a finishing touch by using that 50% French grey and just reaffirming some of these shadows a little bit on the insides of the little windows and right on the edge of where we've put some of the goldenrod as well, just so it looks a little bit deeper and not as orangey, because I mean sandcastle sand isn't really orange, it's kind of this colour. So if we just wanted to give a bit more depth and interest to it, we just go over some of the areas with this French grey. Sometimes you don't know what you want to do until you've actually done it, and then you think, no, it needs a touch of something else. It's like when you're cooking and you think it needs a touch of salt or, you know, whatever. It's kind of like that when you colour in, or at least it is for me. I'll get to the end and then I'll see what's missing. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that, just as a cute little cartoon image. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you on day 3.